The new moon in Gemini conjunct Venus will be having you set some boundaries and ground rules in your relationship so that they can go to the next level. So let's get into it today, how the energy of this lunation is going to help you have better relationships. Welcome back, Astro family. This new moon of 2024 is going to have a heavy relationship focus because Venus, our planet of love, romance, our values, our finances, our creative passion projects, is going to be smashed between the sun and the moon, giving us a new opportunity for new beginnings, new fresh starts in these areas of our life, and allow us to set intentions around our relationships. We're going to break it all down today. We have many planets that are joining in on this new moon party. Of course, we are going to look at your rising sign forecast, but don't skip ahead to your rising sign. Make sure you listen to the other parts of this video because you want to understand how other people are going to be reacting and responding around the time of this new moon. That is how we use the astro weather to have better relationships. If you're new to me and new to my channel, welcome. I'm Mandy Rose. I consider myself a relational astrologer because my attempt is to help you understand the current cosmic weather and ultimately have a better relationship with yourself because you understand why you might be feeling the way that you are, and of course the people around you because you understand how they are experiencing the cosmic weather as well. Now, if you're also new to my new and full moon videos, this is how we lay it out. First, we dive into the basics, the overview, understand what this energy is and how we are going to be feeling it around the time of this lunation. And then I go into my favorite part of my videos, my top 5 fun facts, where we break down why the new moon in Gemini, which happens every single year, is unique to 2024, going into some of the specifics and the fun things to know about this lunation. And then, of course, we're going to dive in and pull up the chart. So make sure you have your birth chart handy. Also, if you have your 2024 Astrology Alchemy Journal, get that out, open it up to page 41. That is our new moon in Gemini page. Make sure you fill out your journal prompts. You will also see the chakras, the crystals, and the herbs that you can work with around this time. And then I'll be giving you some of my relationship final thoughts and advice on how to move forward with this new moon in Gemini and some rituals and activities that you can do around this time to maximize this energy. And of course, in the description box below, I will have the timestamps listed for all these portions of the video along with your rising sign. So let's get into it. Let's dive into the basics. What do we need to know? This new moon in Gemini is happening on 6/6. The 6/6 portal. This is really exciting energy. It is happening officially at 8:37 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you adjust that for your time zone. And it is happening at 16 degrees of Gemini. So you want to go ahead, look at your birth chart. First and foremost, what house, what area of life does Gemini rule for you? This is your area of life where you will have an opportunity to set a new intention, a new beginning around the time of this lunation. The second thing you want to do is look to see if you have any planets near 16 degrees of Gemini. So it could be anywhere really from 14, 15, 16, 17, or 18 degrees of Gemini. If you do in your birth chart, it means that this lunation will be impacting you more heavily, and whatever may be activated in your chart is something that is going to help you set these new intentions and move forward in your journey. Also, every time we get to a new moon in Gemini, the ruler of Gemini, I like to call them the landlords, the landlord of Gemini is Mercury. And so if you are a Mercury-ruled person, meaning you are a Gemini rising or a Virgo rising, this new moon is going to impact you more heavily. The other really exciting thing about this new moon in Gemini is we are going to have 7 planets dancing around this area of the sky. It really is a cosmic party, a cosmic dance-off, so lots of potent energy around Gemini. So with that, let's kind of break down Gemini energy to understand what the overlying theme is as we break down the specifics. Gemini is a mutable air sign. And so air deals with the mind. It deals with thought. It deals with communication. It deals with connection. It also deals a lot with conversation. And it's a mutable energy. Mutable means changeable, adaptable, flexible. And that is what gives this Gemini energy a sense of curiosity. It's this willingness to see what is on the other side of the fence, to change perspectives, to have different viewpoints. It is symbolized by the twins. So it's not this or that. I think Gemini is often confused as bipolar because it's like, oh, 1 minute it's this and 1 minute it's that. But Gemini is not this or that. It's actually this and that. And that is what makes Gemini energy so complex, because it believes that everything is possible and everything exists at once. It's duality. It's polar opposites working together. And so when we deal with Gemini energy, it is asking us to get out there and meet new people and expand ourselves out of our comfort zone and be curious to other perspectives and learn and expand our mind. It is the energy of listening to podcasts and reading books and going to school and literally gaining more knowledge and wisdom through details and facts and conversation and connection. It has this very social energy to it. Gemini air energy wants to socialize. It's the life of the party. It's the witty child, the comedian, the one that just wants to be lighthearted and play. And so when we experience new moons in this Gemini energy, it's an opportunity for us to really infuse this new energy that we all have. Remember, we have all 12 zodiac energies within our energetic field, within our soul's blueprint, within our birth chart. It's just how easily identifiable is each one of these energies to you. If you have a lot of planets in Gemini, relating to Gemini energy is easier for you. But maybe in your birth chart, you have no planets in Gemini. So although you have Gemini energy within you, it's not easy to identify and tap into it. Really cosmically giving us the energy on the external so we can pull it into our internal. So it's being lighthearted, it's being jovial, it's being playful, it's being curious. And I think a lot of us need that in our lives right now. Now, we say it has this heavy relationship focus because Venus, our planet of love, is not only in the zodiac energy of Gemini at the time of the new moon, but she is literally smashed in between the sun and the moon at 16 degrees. And so the new energy of lighthearted playfulness, curious, conversation, connection, community brings in the energy that we need to Venus, our relationships, our finances, our values, the things that we hold dear in our life. Maybe we need to stop taking things so seriously, and maybe we need to go back to just having some fun and being lighthearted and being open and being playful and being curious to our partner or the people we're in relationship with opinions. Because sometimes we get so stuck on the self that we don't allow our mind to expand. We don't allow ourselves to get out of our comfort zone and see it from another angle. And so we're really getting the opportunity around this new moon to be able to do just that. Now, of course, we have other planets involved that are pushing us to this message. We're going to break that all down into specifics. But what I'd love to do now is tap into my top 5 fun facts about this new moon in Gemini. We have a new moon in Gemini every single year during Gemini sun season. It's usually at the end of May. But what makes it unique to 2024? And that is the fact that the planets in the sky are all up to different things each and every year. So let's break it down. Top 5 fun facts for the new moon in Gemini for 2024. The first thing we already mentioned, which is that this new moon happens on a Venus Kazimi. Kazimis essentially mean when a planet is conjunct the sun. And what's really unique is 4 years ago was the last time we had a Venus Kazimi in the zodiac energy of Gemini, and that's while Venus was retrograde. And so this is really a 4-year cycle where Venus is now starting new, a new beginning. She's in forward direct motion in the zodiac energy of Gemini. Look back to where your life was specifically around your finances and your relationships back in June of 2020, because we have come so far since then. We have retrograded back. We have reprioritized things. We've reevaluated things. We've reorganized our finances. We've maybe fell in love with somebody new since then, or our relationships have taken a turn since June of 2020. Now here we are 4 years later at another Venus Sun Kazimi with her in direct motion at a new moon, a new beginning, a new fresh start. And so these areas of our life that Venus rules really has the potential right now to have the reset button hit. And we'll talk more on how we can do that in just a moment. The second fun fact about the new moon in Gemini is that in 6 months, when this new moon grows to be the full moon in Gemini, it will be the final full moon of 2024. And so it's really how we are going to wrap up the year. What we begin now, what we start fresh, the connections we make, the energy we infuse into our relationships, the way in which we socialize or share our views or share our story is going to be able to come to a culmination, an illumination, a highlight, a peak, an apex at the end of the year. So what we begin now has a long and lasting impact all the way into 2025. The third thing that I love about this new moon in Gemini happening in 2024 is the fact that it is on June 6th. 6-6, the 6-6 portal. The number 6 symbolizes and represents equilibrium. It symbolizes loving another person, caring for another person, bringing peace and balance and harmony into our lives. And that is so applicable, again, with the sun and the moon balancing each other and smashing Venus in between them. That gives us the opportunity in all of our relationships to infuse a little bit more love and a little bit more peace, regardless if they're romantic or not at this time. The fourth thing I love for the new moon in Gemini, unique to 2024, is that we have Jupiter officially in Gemini as well. He has not been in the zodiac energy of Gemini in 12 years. So it's been 12 years since we've had a new moon in Gemini with Jupiter, the planet of expansion, blessing, luck, prosperity, abundance, helping us at the time of this new moon take whatever new intention, whatever new beginning that we're setting around our relationships, around our finances, around connection and being with other people, and expanding it and blessing it and bringing so much abundance to us if we can tap into this new moon energy. The fifth fun fact about this new moon in Gemini, unique to 2024, is that we have 7 celestial bodies, all active, all present, dancing around the zodiac energy of Gemini. It is a cosmic party, and that is what is really, really special at this time, because we have the support of many energies to move us forward in the Gemini area of our life. And you'll see which ones those are in just a moment when we pull up the specifics. But before we do that, I want to give you 2 really quick announcements. Of course, I'm going to share about the astrology tea collection. The Gemini blend has herbs in it that support the Gemini parts of the body, which are the brain and the lungs, because that is what we use to speak, express, communicate, share, and connect with others. So it has skullcap and herbamate, help bring clarity and focus. Gemini is a very cerebral energy. It's a very busy energy. It kind of has this anxious energy where it's go, go, go. So I wanted to put herbs together that would help calm your mind, help you stay focused. Of course, support the lungs, which is so important for Gemini suns. We have mullein in here. And of course, it has some blackberry black tea, because my Geminis, you need to be caffeinated. All of us need to be caffeinated during the Gemini sun season, because we got a lot to do, a lot of people to connect with, and a lot of things to get done. So if you want to purchase any of the astrology tea collection blends, you can head to the description box below. Head to the website. You will see all 12 of the zodiac blends. Each one supports a different part of the body and helps you tap in to that current sun season. And of course, you can use it in alignment with your chart as well. If you have any questions, there's a contact form on the website. Reach out and I can help you find the perfect blend that works for your energy. And the second thing I want to share is that on 6/6, I will be launching and releasing officially my relational astrology podcast. I'm so excited. This is something I've been working on behind the scenes to bring to you, which is more content to help you use astrology to have better relationships. We're going to be breaking down every single type of relationship in your life, from your coworkers to your romantic partner to the one you have with yourself, your parents, your neighbors. Every single relationship possible will have its own episode. We will also go through each of the planets and the relationship you have to your Venus, the relationship you have to your Saturn, and the relationship you have to each house in your birth chart, and so much more. Of course, breaking down the astro weather like we do here on the YouTube channel to ultimately help you have all the best relationships in your life that are possible. So I'm really excited. Stay tuned for that. If you are new here, make sure you subscribe so you get notified when that podcast goes live. If you prefer to listen to your podcast on any other platform, of course, it will be launched all over on the popular podcast platform. So I'm so excited to bring that to you. Stay tuned. Coming up on the 6/6 portal, just in time to celebrate this new moon in Gemini. So with that, let's get into the nitty-gritty details. Let's get into specifics. Grab your birth chart. I'm pulling up the chart here for the new moon in Gemini. The first thing that we're going to do when we talk about any new or full moon is, of course, find the sun and the moon. We can see them conjunct together at 16 degrees of Gemini, making sure you understand where Gemini is in your birth chart, because that is the area of life that you are going to get an opportunity to set new intentions and create a new beginning. Now we see next to the sun and the moon, of course, we have Venus, also at 16 degrees. Now, when we deal with Venus, Venus is our feminine energy. It's how we show up in relationships, and we tap into where we want to receive, how we love, how we want to be loved by others, how we bring beauty and pleasure into our lives. And when Venus is in Gemini, the way in which we do all of those things is through the energy and lens of Gemini, which is being lighthearted, which is being social, which is being curious, which is being flexible, which is being open-minded to all the relationships in our life and having options. And because Gemini is ruled by Mercury, the way in which we may want to share our love with others is through words. through language, through information, through connection. And so this is a beautiful season and a beautiful new moon for us to really start incorporating more words into our relationships, sharing how you feel, asking for the opinion of your partner. This is that feminine energy where we don't assume, we don't masculine push and force people to talk or connect with us. We ask questions, open-minded, light-hearted, easy to understand. And I'm going to share with you a really fun activity that my partner and I do on vacation and when we want to connect. And it's so perfect as an activity for you to do in any relationship in your life, especially starting it around this new moon in Gemini. So stay tuned for that in just a moment. The next thing we want to look at after we find the sun and the moon and any planets that may be conjunct the lunation is the ruler of this new moon, right? The landlord, and that is Mercury. And we can see Mercury is also at home in Gemini. And so he is not exactly conjunct the new moon, but he is very close by at 6 degrees. And so we have another 6, the landlord of this new moon, applicable at this time, bringing in more balance, more harmony, and more of an energy to give love to others. And Mercury, again, is through words, through language, through messages. Now, Mercury, our landlord, being at home in Gemini, is very mental. It is very much in the head space. So we're not really talking right now in our relationships about going deep and going into empathy or going into compassion or going into these deep, dark emotional spaces, but rather we're supposed to be light and airy and curious and open and infuse that energy of like when you first met someone and you didn't know anything about them, you start asking questions. And we need to go back to that in all of our relationships because a big part of this energy and the cosmic weather of 2024 is that people are changing. Especially with the eclipses we just went through, every single one of us on a soul level is changing what we like, changing what we desire, changing our goals, changing our needs, changing our wants, changing our perspectives. And so we really need to assume with this new moon in Gemini, new beginning in our relationships, is that everyone around us, no matter how long we've known them, is a new person, is a new version of themselves. And we have to use this lighthearted, fun energy of Mercury in Gemini to ask questions, get to know them again. Don't just assume that just because you've been with someone or been a friend to them for 20 years that you know everything about them. Because I promise you they're changing. So get back to that sense of like when I just started dating you and I just wanted to rapid fire questions at you. Even if you've been in business with someone for a long time, maybe getting back to asking questions and being curious would be so helpful. And I really feel that's a big message for our relationships at this time. The other thing with this energy where we have a lot of 6s, which is creating equilibrium and balance, is looking at your communication style, right? Venus is about the feminine. Are you communicating in a way that's too harsh, too brash, too direct, too intense? And do you need to back off a little bit? Do you need to be patient with letting someone speak, or are you speaking over them all the time? This is such an important energy where we can set a new tone or a new style of communication for ourselves so that we can have better relationships, so we can improve the relationships around us. So if you struggle with connection and conversation, I invite you to explore why that is and what is some feedback that people give you about your communication style that you can really set new intentions on right now to improve at this time. Now, where it gets really interesting is all this energy we've just discussed is exploded and expanded tenfold with the fact that Mercury, the landlord, the ruler of this new moon, is conjunct Jupiter. Now, he isn't officially conjunct anymore. He's coming out of this alignment. But for the past week, Mercury and Jupiter were very heavily connected. And Mercury, again, asks us to speak up, to share our story, to connect, to be open-minded, and gain information, gain wisdom, gain knowledge. And Jupiter is like, do it and I'll bless you. Do it and I will expand you. I will bring abundance if you socialize and connect and be open and be curious. And so this Jupiter-Venus conjunction here is very magnetic and very much expanding us to do the things we haven't done before, to set new intentions in our relationships and our conversations and our ability to connect with others so that we can find some blessing, so we can grow even larger. Now, we also notice here that Jupiter is in a trine to Pluto. Now, all the planets, as they entered into Gemini, had to answer to Pluto right away. They entered into Gemini at 0 degrees. By the time they got to 1 degrees, Pluto was there waiting across the sky in Aquarius at 1 degrees, retrograding back into Capricorn, saying, hold up, let me infuse some of my Pluto, P, power, energy into what you're going to do and accomplish during this Gemini phase of your energy. And Jupiter trine Pluto is very much about taking back your power, to expand your thoughts, to be able to control the way in which you see the world through experience, through gaining wisdom, about literally stepping into your ability to transform, to allow yourself to see things from a different perspective. So powerful for our relationships at this time, because oftentimes we think in our relationships that our perspective is right, that it's the only perspective, that we see things and that must be what is true. And oftentimes our relationships to thrive and to prosper, we have to be able to expand our mind. I always think of Jupiter trining Pluto as like the emoji where the brain is exploding, right? And so right now, like our mind needs to explode and expand and think, oh my God, they have their own story. They have their own perspective. They have their own view of me. What is it? Instead of being defensive, let's get curious. Let's ask these questions. Let's try to see where they're coming from so that we can blend our energies. Again, find balance, find equilibrium. I need to step out of my masculine. I need to be in my feminine. I need to allow myself to receive the information instead of assuming I have everything that I need right now. And so this is such a powerful energy, again, that is being infused into our relationships at this time. And we can set this energy in motion as the new beginning, the new tone for our relationships moving forward. It doesn't matter what it's been up to this point. We are getting Pluto's transformative power to metamorphosize our relationships at this time so that they can continue forward and get better and better. Now, where the relationships can get a little tricky, where it doesn't feel all easy breezy lemon squeezy around this time, is the fact that we have Saturn squaring the new moon. And so we do have this energy of new beginning, new fresh starts. I want to be curious. I want to be lighthearted. I want to infuse this playfulness back into my relationships. But why does it feel so freaking hard? Because Saturn says, stop. In a square to the new moon, stop. Before we get to the fun, we got to overcome some ground rules, right? Saturn requires discipline, commitment, structure, boundaries. And in order for you to get to lighthearted, playful energy with somebody, you got to know they have your back. You got to know that there's boundaries in place that you can trust. You got to know that they are committed to the relationship as much as you are. So it's about having Mercury conversations, Gemini being curious and open-minded and speaking and connecting and expressing, with Venus relationships, the people in your life, to Jupiter expand your mind, to transform Pluto, the relationships in your life, so that they can get better. New moon, new beginning, new fresh starts. And that really summarizes this energy. So we're really going to feel Saturn's pressure on us in our relationships to get out of your comfort zone, to speak up, to have the necessary conversations around boundaries in your relationships, to set some ground rules, to have that conversation with someone and be like, yo, are you committed to changing and growing? Are you wanting this relationship to improve? That can be romantic. That can be a coworker. That can be a friend. That can be, maybe your neighbor that you've been having a tiff with. It's literally being this honest, open, direct, curious energy of, do you want this to move forward? If so, here's the rules. If I have my trash can out in front of the house, neighbor, and it bothers you, I need you to just send me a text and say, hey, can you move your trash can? Instead of making this stink about it, running around the whole neighborhood, causing drama, like, here's the ground rules. Setting that up in our relationships at this time lays the foundation of Saturn to create structure to build the new energy of our relationships on. It is so, so important in our lives at this time. And if we can tap into this new moon and do the things required of us, we are going to be able to set sail in these new energies in our relationships. Or if you are single, this is really what you need to do at the beginning of your relationship as you are meeting people, is setting up your boundaries. If they don't call you back after a certain amount of time, bye, next, that's my boundary. So even those of you who are single or, don't really have any particular relationships in your life that you feel this energy could apply to, it really could be about yourself. And creating those boundaries with yourself of like, hey, when I am thinking bad, negative thoughts, I need to cut them off because I need to be loving and kind to myself as well. So this applies to all relationships in our life. And with that, I'm going to just summarize it with some final relationship thoughts and advice to help you move through this energy. And I'm going to give you the game that my partner and I play that is so new moon in Gemini, that so applies, that will help you be curious in all of your relationships. So when we are on vacation, and usually we go on vacation together for like a month at a time. And so of course, by week 2 or 3, we're kind of out of things to talk about. Sometimes we just get tired and we've been exhausted from traveling. And so we do this really fun game, and I will say a word, and he's got to say the first word that comes to his mind. And then he says a word, and then I'll say a word that comes to my mind. And it is so fun because you never know really what the other person is thinking, how their brain works, like their neural pathways. And so I'll just start like rapid firing. I'll say palm tree, and then I'll see how he responds. And that shows me like what he thinks of when he thinks of a palm tree. It's probably totally different from what I think. Or I'll say Florida, and then see what he says. Or I'll say red, or I'll say mini skirt. Like I will literally come up with any word, just random as heck, and see what his first thought is. And it is so fun to do with anyone in your life, your mom, your sibling, a coworker, because this way you just get this little tiny window into their mind. I mean, when we really think of it in relationships, each one of us thinks so differently from different past experiences, from different perspectives, things that we've learned. And so I just find this game so fascinating. So if you are in a relationship, or you have someone that you're going to be hanging out with around the time of this new moon in Gemini, play this game with them. I think you will really find a lot of fun in it because it's lighthearted. There's nothing challenging. There's no right or wrong answers. There's nothing to get into a fight over. It's just playful, and it builds that connection again, especially if you've been in a relationship with someone for a long time, like a friend for 20 years. Sometimes you think you know someone until you realize how much you actually don't know about them. So my final thoughts and advice to really capitalize on this new moon in Gemini energy is Gemini is the twins. It wants options. If you are in like a soulmate style relationship, this is a great time for you to maximize this energy, to create that fresh start. Any relationships in your life are going to require the Saturn boundaries to move forward. Allow yourself to have those tough conversations. Allow yourself to push through the challenges and the obstacles, because sometimes in order to grow, we have to get out of our comfort zone. Jupiter is going to bless us in this Gemini area of our life for the next upcoming year. So if you are someone that wants to connect, socialize, meet new people, if you're single and ready to mingle, this is a beautiful time for you to set the new intentions, set the new beginnings. Don't forget that Venus also rules over our values, what we hold dear, our finances, our material possessions. So if there's a new beginning or a new intention you want to set around those things in your life as well, this is a beautiful opportunity to manifest, to be very clear, to set your boundaries around those areas so that Jupiter can expand and bless it as well. Now, when we get into the rising sign forecast, we are going to dive deeper into the relationships in your life that may specifically be impacted based on where this new moon falls within your birth chart. But do remember, this energy does apply to all relationships in our life, and that other people are also going to be feeling it. So it's a beautiful time where you get to be more curious, they're more open-minded, and you're able to set this new energy in motion. So let me give you some rituals and activities that you can do to maximize this energy, and we'll dive into the rising signs after that. So the first thing I would highly encourage you to do to tap into this new moon in Gemini energy is to write a love letter to somebody. Mercury loves words. Venus loves affirmations and signs of affection. So if there is someone in your life that you have not written a letter to in a very long time, go ahead, just sit down, say your thoughts, say your appreciation for them, send it in the mail. It is such a beautiful, kind gesture. If you have not written your partner a love note in a very long time, tap back into your teenage years, your playful, jovial, lighthearted energy that is very much Gemini, very teenager, and write it on a Post-it note and stick it on the bathroom mirror for your significant other. If you are newly dating someone, maybe you send them a really kind appreciation note for your first date or something that you really value in them. Maybe it's writing a letter to your mother or your father or your sibling for all that they've done for you. This is a beautiful energy. Write a letter, set it in motion, and that can really bring new energy into your relationship with that person. The second thing I would do, because Gemini is all about connection, community, and socializing, is host a block party, gather your neighbors together, people in your close community, host a party, invite people over. Beautiful energy to set, again, new energies in motion within these connections. You never know if at the block party you meet someone that knows someone that leads to a new job, or someone that gives you information about a hobby or activity you've been wanting to try. Gemini season is all about learning new things and getting out there and connecting with new people. It is the energy of the twins, right? This and that. So having many, many friends across many different areas and walks of life. So this is a beautiful time to gather people in your local community together and to expand your connections, which I think is so important nowadays, where we have to band together and find our tribe. And the third and final thing I would do to maximize the energy around this new moon in Gemini is to work on the throat chakra. The throat chakra is all about expressing and speaking our truth. So if you are wanting to start a podcast, make a YouTube video, connect with someone you love and share your story, share your viewpoint, it's a beautiful energy to do that. If you are not wanting to be that brave or bold, maybe you need to just take it from the basic level of using your throat chakra by singing. Get in the car, sing really loud, sing in the shower, just using your vocal cords and humming and creating vibrations in this chakra center can help open and expand and allow you to speak and express your truth, because you're more comfortable hearing your own voice and allowing other people to hear your voice as well. So start there if you need to. And in the spirit of the new moon in Gemini, I'm going to use my voice to send immense gratitude, words of affirmation to you for being here, being a part of the Astro family, subscribing to my channel. I absolutely love that I get to talk about the cosmic weather, especially from the lens of helping you have better relationships. Let me know. I'm a Virgo sun. I love chit-chatting. This is definitely a fun season for me where I get to share and connect and communicate with like-minded people. I do that every single day over on our Telegram channel, my Astro Weather Report, where I send a voice memo to our subscribers to help them navigate the cosmic weather every single day. And I love doing it here on YouTube as well. So make sure you head to the comments below. Let me know how you're feeling around this new moon in Gemini. Let me know what relationships in your life you're wanting to improve, to tap this Gemini energy into. And of course, let me know what your rising sign is, what relationships in your life you're trying to improve around this new moon in Gemini. So let's get into it, starting out with Aries Rising. My Aries risings, this new moon in Gemini is happening in your third house. And so when we're dealing with the third house, we are dealing with your area of life of neighbors, siblings, people that you are closely connected to. It is also the area of life of learning, of mentorship. And so the relationships in your life that you have tied to these areas could be expanding, could be needing some new energy infused to them. This is also asking you, with Venus in this area of your chart, to ask yourself, how can you make this area of life more beautiful and more pleasurable? Because Venus wants to attract and magnetize things to you in this area of life. So if you've had a strained relationship with your siblings, this might be a great time to set new energy. Write them a letter, call them, text them, send them some words of affirmation to re-strengthen the bond that you have with your siblings. Same thing goes with your neighbors. This would be a beautiful new moon for you to host your neighbors, to set up a little block party, to bring them just a thank you note or a box of chocolates, just to appreciate the fact that you have them in your neighborhood, that they look over your home, that they take care of you. This is something that we often take for granted, but is very necessary in our day-to-day life. Also looking at the relationships for you, Aries risings, around people that teach you things. So we are looking at maybe podcast hosts that you love to listen to, people on YouTube that you learn a lot from. Maybe you're in school and it's your actual teachers. Who in your life gives you wisdom and knowledge? Who helps you expand and learn things? Send gratitude to these people. These are energies around this new moon that you can help make these specific relationships better and strengthen them, so you can continue learning and growing from these people. So it's a beautiful energy. Now, don't forget, Saturn is asking you to set some boundaries and some ground rules with these people. So if there is some strain in the relationship and you need to get them back on track, just have the tough conversation. Remember to do it with love, because Venus is here and active as well, and you'll be able to get over the hurdle at this time and move through this energy and expand it into a new fresh start. Now, don't forget, Saturn will be going retrograde at the end of this month, so make sure you hit subscribe and come back, as we're really going to break down that Saturn retrograde for you, as Saturn is teaching you some lessons and helping you take responsibility in your 12th house space. So we'll talk more about that in that video. Thank you so much for being here. Good luck. Enjoy this new moon in Gemini. It's a beautiful one for you, Aries risings. Taurus risings, this new moon in Gemini is helping improve the relationships in your life connected to your second house. The second house is our area of finances, our money, our budget, our income, the things that we value, the things that we hold dear, and our material possessions. So we're looking at how can you improve relationships in your life that are tied financially to money. These could be clients. These are going to be people that pay your bills, like your bosses. It could be yourself if you're an entrepreneur. It could be someone that invests in you or gives you assets and resources to use in your business or use in your life. It could also be people that you buy things for, that you spend money on, that you invest in, because this is your finances going out. And so look at the relationships in your life that may be strained at this time, that maybe need some new energy infused into them, making sure you're doing that with love, using words of affirmation. So this would be a beautiful time for you if you work with clients that pay your bills, that help finance you in some way, to send them words of affirmation, send them a thank you note, send an email to everyone that's supported you, that helps bring money into your pockets. If you work for a company or work for a boss, this is a great time to show your appreciation for all that they've taught you, right? Gemini is about the mind, and it's about having communication and connection with the people that help bring you resources and things into your life. Now, if you're needing to negotiate and you want to buy something, this could be a beautiful new moon to set a new intention around a negotiation or a contract that you need to sign. Maybe you're wanting to buy a new car, or you're wanting to lease something in some aspect of like a resource or an asset. Beautiful energy, new moon, new beginning. Jupiter is expanding your money house for the next upcoming year. So this is a beautiful, abundant, prosperous year ahead for you. But remember, what you do at the time of this new moon will set everything in motion. Clear, beautiful appreciation, communication is going to be optimal for you and all the relationships in your life tied to your finances. And of course, don't forget that Saturn is squaring this energy from your 11th house. So there may be some relationships in your life that you have to have a tough conversation with, especially when it comes to your friendships. And this may even be something where you are spending a lot of your money on having friends, spending time with your friends. You're oversharing your finances with your friends, and maybe it's time to set some ground rules and set some boundaries. So address any hard, tough conversations that you need to have, especially around your second house area of life. And make sure you subscribe. Come back, as I'll be doing a full breakdown video of Saturn's retrograde that starts at the end of the month. And those are the lessons you're needing to learn from Saturn during his 3-year journey through your 11th house. So good luck, Taurus risings. A beautiful new moon, new beginning energy for you in your money sector. Gemini risings, this is such an exciting new moon for you. It is your new moon of your birth chart. New moon in the first house, new beginnings, new fresh intentions that you get to set around yourself. What you want in relationship, what you desire in relationship, the relationship you have with yourself and your physical body and your own identity. So happy new moon in Gemini to you. What a beautiful kickoff to your birth chart year. You have Jupiter here now in your first house, expanding you, magnetizing things to you. You are the luckiest rising sign of the zodiac for the next upcoming year. And this is your new moon to really kick it off. The relationship that you want to focus on this month is the one that you have with yourself. Making sure you love yourself, you love the way you dress, you love your body, you love the way in which you show up to the world. You should really be obsessed with yourself during this season. And whatever intentions you set at this time is really going to be the way in which people see you, because this is your glow up season. So what I would really recommend for you, Gemini risings, around the time of this new moon is, what new identity do you want to share with the world? Do you need to change your social media profiles? Do you need to change your LinkedIn profile? Do you need to get new business cards? Do you want to update your wardrobe? Do you want to change your hair? Like, what do you want to do with your presentation, your appearance, and the way in which you want other people to relate to you? Because whether we like it or not, the way in which we show up to the world affects how people see us, affects how they relate to us, right? If we dress a certain way, it gives people perceptions. It's just a fact of life. People make snap judgments on you and the way in which you show up. And so it's okay to be whoever you are. But you want to make sure at the time of this new moon in Gemini, it aligns with exactly how you want to be seen, exactly how you want to show up. So adjust and tweak and observe how people relate to you and improve yourself, glow up in any way that makes you love yourself more. Being authentic, tapping into your true identity. So beautiful new beginning for you. Don't forget that Saturn is squaring this new moon, and the relationship you're trying to up level within yourself and to yourself from your 10th house space. And so there might be some career things that are coming in that are a challenge or an obstacle because of how you dress or because of how you appear. And maybe, for example, it's like you want to dress more feminine, but you work in law and you got to go to court every day. And so if you wear, bright colors or florals, it's not as presentable as coming in like a black suit. So there might be some challenges here. You may have to set some new ground rules in your career for how you want to be seen and how you want to show up. You may have to have tough conversations with people around the way that they treat you. That is part of your glow up. That is the part of the way in which you want to be seen by the world. So these could be things that are coming up for you, Gemini risings. But overall, remembering that Saturn is going to start going retrograde in your career house at the end of this month. So make sure you subscribe and come back as we're going to break down that entire video and what Saturn is trying to teach you during his retrograde. But for the time of this new moon, we want to really focus on you, yourself, and celebrating your new moon with Venus and Jupiter, the benefics in your first house, bringing you and magnetizing so much attention and attraction and abundance into your world. So congratulations, Gemini rising. What an exciting time for you. Let me know in the description box if you're feeling this energy or if there's some challenges from Saturn you're having to overcome. And I'm going to send you so much love and light. I'll catch you in the next video. Cancer risings, this new moon in Gemini is happening in your 12th house. And so when we are looking at Venus, who rules our relationships and what we value, moving through the 12th house space is really asking us how you can make the 12th house area of your life feel more beautiful. And the 12th house area of life is very elusive. It's hard to pin down. It really deals with our energetic body, our emotions, our mental health, our limiting beliefs. It deals with our spiritual practices. It deals with things behind the scenes that we don't like to reveal, that we don't like to show to the world. And Venus is saying, but how can we make it more beautiful? How can we make it more pleasurable? And this new moon is allowing you to have a new beginning and a new intention. And one of the biggest things I would recommend to you, Cancer risings, as you are very empathic and you are very sensitive as a person ruled by the moon, at the time of this new moon, I want you to really focus in on what people in your life, what relationships have an impact on your energetic body and make you feel out of alignment, make you feel off, and which ones impact your mental health. Which ones cause you to have limiting beliefs and fears and negative thoughts about yourself or the world or your view. And these are the relationships right now that either we have to Saturn have a tough conversation around and set some boundaries where it's like, you're not going to speak to me that way. When we hang out, if you're negative, I'm going to leave. Like whatever conversation that is tough or ground rules you have to set for people in your life so that they do not affect your mental and emotional and energetic health is so important at this time, because once you do, you're going to be able to infuse new energies into these relationships and really bring more beauty and pleasure and harmony into your relationships, because they're not doing the things that are damaging very sacred, special parts of your being. The 12th house, it deals with the things that people can't see, but they are very important to how we operate in the world. So Cancer risings, this is a very important new moon, a new beginning that you can set right now. And if it has to be the relationship you have with yourself around the way that you mentally speak to yourself, the stories you tell yourself, the way that you take care of your energy, do you cleanse? Do you do chakra balancing? Do you sage yourself? Do you stop yourself from being exposed to uncomfortable situations? You maybe need to give yourself some more love and some more grace and some more patience and set a new relationship up with yourself in the world to protect your energy and your mental health. And the last thing I'm going to say about this energy is Saturn is squaring this from your 9th house space. And so Saturn right now is teaching you to take more responsibility for your view and your beliefs and the way in which you see the world, and also helping you create some stronger foundations around what is in your comfort zone and what you will stand for and what you believe in, and teaching you to have more faith. So very, very important for you, Cancer risings. I'm going to send you so much love and light. Don't forget that Saturn is gearing up to go retrograde at the end of this month. So make sure you subscribe and come back, as I will have an entire video breaking down what Saturn is trying to teach you in your 9th house and how we're going to move through the Saturn retrograde and learn the lessons. So sending you so much love and light for this new moon. Set those new beginnings and new intentions in your 12th house space, and I'll catch you in the next video. Leo risings, this new moon in Gemini is impacting your 11th house. So we are really focusing on the relationships you have with your community, your tribe, and your friends. friends. And anyone that is helping you get to your goals, to helping you accomplish your dreams, and assessing the relationships in your life in these specific areas that you value. Because Venus is bringing beauty and pleasure into our lives. And while she's traveling through your 11th house for the time being, and during this new moon in Gemini, it is asking you, how much do you value each of your friends? Do they bring pleasure into your life? Do you find them to be a friendship that is meaningful to you? And does there need to maybe be, at this time at the new moon in Gemini, new friendships, new communities, new tribes? Maybe you've changed so much, Leo risings, in the last couple months, and you find that your friends that you used to have not grown and expanded with you, and you're needing to find a new community, new connections, and new people to be around. This is a beautiful new energy for you to get out there, socialize, connect, go to different groups that you wouldn't normally go to. Be curious. And you could find a lot of blessings, a lot of people that help you want to get to your goals, want to get to your dreams. Because the 11th house is our house of our future, what we're wanting to expand into. And of course, Jupiter is here blessing you, moving you forward faster than ever to your dreams and to your goals, and your community and tribe is going to help you get there. Now, if you're having challenges with friends or with people in your community or people that you network with, you may have to have some tough conversations, because Saturn is squaring this energy from your 8th house. And the 8th house is the house of taboo topics. So maybe there is someone that you are tied to financially that is a friend, and maybe you've loaned them money and they haven't paid you back, and you need to set some ground rules and you need to have a tough conversation. Maybe there's someone in your network or someone in your tribe that you're wanting to get more intimate with, you're wanting to learn more about, but they're just very closed off, and you just feel like you need a friend or you need someone that you're able to go deeper with. And so you're having these tough conversations with them of like, hey, are you going to open up and share to me what's going on? Or are we just always going to be these surface level friends? Things like that, because the 8th house where Saturn is really teaching you lessons right now about taking responsibility for your financial systems and your financial energy connected and tied to other people. Where are you giving out too much? Maybe where you're taking too much, and also your ability to be vulnerable and to share your thoughts and your feelings and your fears with other people. And that could very much be showing up at this new moon in Gemini right now, where you're having to meet new friends or reinfuse new energy into current and existing friendships that cause you to be a little bit more vulnerable. So lots more to talk about with these Saturn lessons in your 8th house. Of course, he is going retrograde at the end of this month. Saturn retrogrades are lesson learning periods, so we'll be breaking all of that down in one of my upcoming videos. So make sure you subscribe, come back, check that out, as we'll be breaking it down for you, my Leo risings. But this is a beautiful, beautiful new moon for you to set new intentions, meet new friends, and to re-infuse some energy with love, Venus, words of affirmation into your current friendships, and to overcome any obstacles with Saturn's assistance. So sending you so much love and light, my Leo risings. I will catch you in the next video. Virgo risings, this new moon in Gemini is impacting your 10th house. So we are dealing with any relationships in your life that are connected to your career, your purpose, your mission, your legacy, the title you're called and known for in this world. And this is a beautiful energy right now for you to infuse some new intentions. Do you want to connect with more people in your industry, in your career? Venus is here, so she brings in a lot of possibility to make these relationships and connections in your life more beautiful and more pleasurable. If you're wanting to get to know your boss a little bit better because you're looking for a promotion, this is a beautiful time to do it, to have those conversations, to be curious, to be open, to be willing to be educated and mentored by somebody in your field, because Jupiter is here for the next year, willing to expand and bless you. This is a beautiful, beautiful upcoming year from May to May of 2025, where you get a pocket of energy, Jupiter's abundance and expansion in your career sector. Many people wait years for Jupiter to show up in their career sector, to pop off in their reputation, in their mission, in their purpose in this world. And you have it right now, my Virgo risings. So capitalize on this energy with the new moon in Gemini, make new connections, socialize with more people, and don't forget, Venus asks you to be in your feminine right now. Appreciate, show love, show gratitude. You will magnetize people to you by being open and loving and soft and tender and listening to people, This is how right now you could get some beautiful blessings in your career sector. If you work with clients, this is a beautiful time to send out thank you notes, to show your gratitude for them within, again, people above you, like your managers or mentors or people that are further along in your industry. Again, just reaching out for connection, for support, with gratitude for what they've accomplished that shows you it's possible to accomplish it as well. These little things can go so far to improve these relationships. Now, don't forget, you do have Saturn squaring you from your 7th house of relationships. So right now, Saturn in his journey through your 7th house of Pisces is teaching you some tough lessons around relationships, helping you overcome obstacles, figuring out who you're committed to and who you want to be with for the long term. So whatever is going on in your career sector, whatever new beginnings, new fresh intentions you're setting at this time around your career, could be impacting your relationships. You may be spending more time right now at work and really infusing this energy of the new moon and creating a new project or putting something into motion. And that becomes maybe strainful on your romantic partnerships. The 7th house for you as well, Virgo Risings, deals with business collaborations and business partners. And so maybe there's tough conversations you need to have right now with a business partner, with someone you've been working with on a project, and creating some boundaries and some ground rules so that ultimately this new project, this new beginning, this new fresh start that you're trying to create in your career can go a lot more smooth. Now, Saturn, of course, is going to be retrograding at the end of the month. So make sure you subscribe, come back. We'll be breaking down that Saturn retrograde. Remember, his retrogrades, as our tough love dad, are lesson learning periods. And we'll be navigating all of that in the upcoming video for you, Virgo Risings, but sending you so much love and light. This is a beautiful energy. You are ruled by Mercury. So Mercury being in his home sign, being in your career house, is a beautiful potential and opportunity to create new harmonious relationships at this time. Sending you so much love and light. I'll catch you in the next video. Libra Risings, this new moon in Gemini is launching this new energy around relationships dealing with your 9th house. The 9th house space deals with mentors, gurus, people that teach you a lot of things in life that help you expand your mind by getting out of your comfort zone. This deals a lot with your professors, with people on the internet like coaches and leaders and podcasters and YouTubers and people that really infuse you with life experience and wisdom that you never knew, that expand your mind, that change your perspective, that help you get out of your comfort zone and really start moving through life in a different way with different experiences. So really with Venus involved here, this is a beautiful energy for you to send love and gratitude to mentors or people of your past that have helped you gain wisdom, that helped you move through life in this beautiful, beautiful way. Of course, if you are looking for a mentor, if you are looking for someone to expand you, if you are looking for someone to gain wisdom and knowledge from, this is a beautiful time to set new intentions. Maybe you are freshly out of school and you are wanting to get an internship, or you're wanting to work under somebody and learn everything that they've already accomplished. Beautiful time to reach out, to send your gratitude to them. You never know where it might lead. Also, if you are wanting to travel, to go be with someone, this is a beautiful energy for you to set new intentions around going to new places. So if you are wanting to, travel to Spain, if you're wanting to learn about other cultures, if you're wanting to go on a retreat, if you're wanting to host retreats, all these things deal with your 9th house, and Gemini is really about learning and curiosity and connecting and socializing and getting people together. So maybe you need to plan a group trip. Maybe you need to plan a retreat. Maybe you need to go visit someone very far away and you're going to gain a whole new life perspective. This is a beautiful new moon to do that. Remember, Jupiter is here blessing you and expanding this space of your life for the next upcoming year. And with Venus, your ruling planet, in your 9th house, you have this expansive opportunity to bring a lot of beauty and pleasure into this area of your life, learn new things, and get out of your comfort zone. So go check something off your bucket list. But don't forget, Saturn is over in your 6th house, squaring this energy, creating some obstacles, creating some challenges. Saturn in your 6th house is a challenging 3 years because Saturn creates obstacles right now for you around your physical health, your day-to-day habits and your routines. So maybe you are wanting to expand and explore and travel, but Saturn's like, wait, did you get your doctor's appointments? Wait, are you healthy enough? Do you have enough stability in your life to just up and go somewhere? And if you are wanting to gain a mentor or learn a lot right now, Saturn is saying, hey, but we have to make sure what we're learning fits into our daily life. So really understanding what Saturn is trying to teach you during this phase is very important. And of course, Saturn will be going retrograde at the end of this month. So make sure you subscribe and come back as we're going to dive into the lessons you're meant to learn, because Saturn retrogrades are major lesson learning periods, because we do call him Lord Karma. And so you're going to want to pay attention to that. But remember, overall, this new moon in Gemini is helping you expand, connect with new people, learn new things, and you're going to be able to make this area of your life feel more beautiful and more pleasurable. So I love this energy for you, Libra Rising. Happy new moon in Gemini. I will catch you in the next video. Scorpio risings, so we meet again. Of course, as a fellow Scorpio rising, I am feeling this new moon in Gemini energy. It is happening in our 8th house, our taboo house, our area of life connected to money and finances related to other people, like our partner's money, debts, loans, inheritances, wills, taxes, all those things we don't like to think about or discuss. This new moon in Gemini is also setting up new intentions and new energy to infuse into our intimate life, our sex life, our ability to be romantic and have fun with our partners, and also allows us to explore some healing, because the 8th house deals with trauma and fears and miraculous kind of uncoverings and revealings. And so right now, Scorpio risings, if there are relationships in your life that have been rocky or been uncomfortable when it comes to your intimacy or your sex life, this is a beautiful, beautiful energy with Venus being here to infuse some love and compassion and understanding for your partner, to have those tough conversations so that you can break through and have a more beautiful, enjoyable area of your life in this space. Now, also because the 8th house is connected to finances with other people, this new moon could really help you expand your knowledge, expand your wisdom, Gemini, Mercury being here as well, on the topics that are hard to discuss. So maybe you need to sign a will. Maybe you need to create an estate with your partner. Maybe you need to talk about marriage and you need to be intimate and vulnerable. Maybe you need to talk to someone that you owe money to or that owes money to you. Maybe you need to talk about redistributing assets in some way and how you're sharing finances with the people you live with or within your family. This is a beautiful energy right now where there's this burst of opportunity to have those tough conversations with love, with compassion, with Venus involved, so that you can move through it and have better relationships when it comes to these tough topics. Now, don't forget, you have Saturn in your 5th house teaching you lessons and helping you move through some of these tough energies. Your 5th house is related to your romantic life. It is related to your area of life of children. So maybe you are having to have tough conversations with your children about writing up a will right now. But these tough conversations leads to more peace and more understanding. Maybe you need to have a tough conversation with a romantic partner around your sex life and your boundaries and your ground rules and what you need and what you want and what you like. There is such beautiful energy to go there right now, to get over on the other side, because Venus will be moving through here for the next couple weeks, Jupiter for the next year, expanding you, blessing you in this area of life. If there was ever a time in your life to have these tough conversations with relationships in your life, this is the time to do it. This new moon will bless you in so many ways. And don't forget, as Saturn is going to go retrograde at the end of the month, there's a lot of lessons for you to learn around your 5th house space. I will be making a video, so make sure you subscribe. Come back as we'll be breaking down. Remember, Saturn's retrogrades are major lesson learning periods. We don't call him Lord Karma for nothing. And since it's in our fun house, we're definitely going to need to pay attention to this. So sending you so much love and light. Go have some fun. Go have some romantic time. Go improve your relationships in all areas of life, but definitely around your 8th house space. Good luck, Scorpio risings. I'll catch you in the next video. Sagittarius risings, this is your new moon of the year. Gemini rules your 7th house. So we are truly talking about all the relationships in your life that you hold dear, that you want to have a long-term connection to. So these are your marriage partners, business partners, people you collaborate with, intimate friendships, anyone that you tie your energy to that you find valuable. And this new moon is really allowing you to set new intentions and infuse new energy into these relationships. If they've been stuck, if they've been stagnant, this is a beautiful time for you to open up the channels of communication, to have the hard conversations. Venus moving through your 7th house is really allowing you to bring some pleasure and beauty and harmony back into your relationships. Now, since the 7th house deals with intimate connections for the long term, maybe there are people that you have been in partnership with for a very long time. This is a beautiful energy at the new moon to be very curious, to get to know them again. They've probably changed so much since you first met them. So have these lighthearted conversations, have spontaneous activities that you can do with them, do the exercise that I mentioned in today's video that I do with my partner to just have some fun with the people in your life that you're closest to. Venus is really calling you right now to be very feminine with your relationships. So asking people in a heart-centered, loving way questions about them to build the better connection. Also, remembering words of affirmation can go a very long way. You are definitely someone, my Sagittarius risings, that appreciates words of affirmation in your relationship. So maybe you need to speak up, set some boundaries, share your own needs and wants with people at this time. Don't forget that Saturn is squaring this energy, asking you to set some boundaries, set some ground rules. Saturn is in your 4th house. So this may specifically be related to people that you live with, that you're having to have these tough conversations with, that you're having to improve relationships with. If you are really struggling right now in your home life, that is because Saturn is teaching you a lot of lessons around here. Don't forget, Saturn is going to go retrograde at the end of this month, and Saturn retrogrades are lesson learning periods. So make sure you subscribe, come back for that entire video, helping you navigate Lord Karma's retrograde. But for now, at the time of this new moon, you have such a beautiful pocket of energy and opportunity to expand your relationships, to infuse new energy into your relationships with love and kindness. And Jupiter will work for the next upcoming years, expanding you and bringing beautiful, beautiful energy to the people in your life that you hold very dear. So sending you so much love and light, Sagittarius risings, and I will catch you in the next video. Capricorn risings, this new moon in Gemini is happening in your 6th house. So these are relationships in your life that are tied to people that you interact with on a day-to-day basis. We're looking at your coworkers, we're looking at your clients, we're working at your doctors, your nutritionists, your therapists, people that you literally see every single day that either help or hinder your overall well-being. So we're looking at relationships and asking ourselves, with Venus being involved here, what new energy or what new intentions do I have with the people in my life to help me feel better, to help me feel better about myself, to help me feel better about my body, to help me navigate my day-to-day? Who can I bring in to make this area of my life more beautiful and pleasurable? The 6th house deals with your overall well-being. And maybe there's some people in your life right now that don't help. So I'm going to give you an example. Maybe you have friends that always encourage you to go out drinking, and you're trying to be on a diet and you're trying to improve your health, but like these people are always hindering your overall well-being by peer pressuring you. And maybe it's time to infuse some boundaries and some ground rules into your relationships and say, hey, unless you're calling me to go for a walk or you want to go to a restaurant that I can eat at, like I can't hang out with you because it's not good for my overall well-being. Maybe we're looking at your coworkers that you interact with on a day-to-day basis, and they're so negative and they're always coming over to your cubicle and they're always gossiping, and you're like, this is not good for my mental health. I have so much work on my plate, and as much as I like to do this, it's also impacting me negatively. So I'm going to have to set some ground rules and tell them, hey, like I need the mornings to myself. I need to get my things done. We can go out for lunch. We can gossip, whatever it needs to be. So look at the relationships in your life, asking yourself the question of, are they hurting or hindering my overall well-being? And how can I infuse some new energy with ground rules? And of course, using my words, Mercury, to express these things to people with love, of course, because Venus is involved, to improve these relationships so I can hold on to them so that they feel good to me. That is the ultimate question for you, my Capricorn risings. Don't forget, your ruling planet Saturn is squaring this energy from your 3rd house. So you're having to learn a lot of lessons right now about speaking up, speaking your truth, sharing your thoughts, sharing your ideas. And that might be something very pivotal around this new moon in Gemini for you. In order for your relationships to get better and in order for you to keep your health on track, you may have to speak up right now and share your opinions and share your feelings. It may not be easy, but it is going to make you feel so much better. And any intentions you want to set around this new moon, around your physical well-being, are so lovely at this time. Don't forget, your ruling planet Saturn is going retrograde at the end of the month. So make sure you subscribe and come back, as I will have an entire video breaking it down, as Lord Karma will be teaching you the most lessons during his retrograde from June till November. So sending you so much love and light, lots of health with the new moon in Gemini, your new moon of the year around your overall well-being. Sending you so much love and light. I'll catch you in the next video. Aquarius Risings, this new moon in Gemini is happening in your 5th house, the fun house. So we are looking at relationships in your life that help you feel alive, that nurture your inner child. This is your romantic life, your dating life. It deals with your children. It deals with people that you have hobbies with and people that help support you or assist you in your creative passion projects. So if any of these relationships in your life are struggling right now, this is a beautiful energy around this new moon in Gemini to set new intentions, to infuse new energy, to have some tough conversations, to open up communication channels with these people, remembering to share with love as Venus is here as well. Venus in your 5th house really magnetizes and asks you, how can you make this area of life more beautiful and pleasurable? And the new moon is going to open up new opportunities to do that. So maybe you've had a strained relationship with your children, or you've been struggling connecting with your children. This would be a beautiful time for you to give them some words of affirmation, some loving kindness, to write them a letter, to shout them out on social media if they're at that age where they would appreciate that. Because right now you can use your words, Mercury, with love, Venus, to create new energy around these relationships in your 5th house. Also, if you are single and looking to mingle, this is a beautiful, beautiful new moon that you could meet your soulmate on, because Gemini is the twins. So go on a light-hearted, fun date. Be open-minded. Just be aware that you might have to date multiple people before you find your one. But this new energy in Gemini could really help you just get back out there. Get out in the world, have some fun, be lighthearted, be curious, be open-minded, and just putting your butt back in the saddle and seeing where it goes. Also, when it comes to hobbies and games and entertainment and going to do fun things with people, maybe you've lost some friends that you used to do fun things with, and you need to find new people that like the new activities and hobbies that you like. So for example, maybe you love to roller skate, but you've had some issues with your knees or your back, and you're like, you know what, I can't do that anymore, and now I feel like I've lost all my friends. And so you set new intentions to meet people that like to play pickleball. And so you have this new moon energy to be curious and open-minded, to attend an open play on the courts in your neighborhood, and you meet some new people to do hobbies and activities with. Don't forget that your ruling planet Saturn is squaring this energy from your 2nd house. So there might be tough conversations around money or finances that you may have to have with the people in your life associated with the 5th house, like your children, like people that you're dating, like people that you're working on passion projects with. But that's okay, because these tough conversations are necessary. Creating some boundaries and structure might be with your children, where you're like, hey, I'm only giving you this much a month and you're going to have to work to cover the rest of your bills. Maybe when it comes to dating, you're like, hey, if we're going to go out, I'm not paying the first bill. You want to take me out, you're covering the tab. You're having these ground rules and boundaries for the way in which you want to show up in the relationships in the 5th house of your life, so that they can continue, so that they feel good, so that they feel pleasurable. But often that deals with having tough conversations around money. Now, don't forget your ruling planet Saturn will be going retrograde at the end of this month, teaching you tough lessons around your financial sector. Now, this is something that's been ongoing, but don't forget his retrogrades are major lesson learning periods. We don't call him Lord Karma for nothing. So make sure you come back, hit subscribe, check out that video to ensure that you're learning the lesson you need to, as your ruling planet will be going retrograde from June till November. So sending you so much love and light, my Aquarius Risings, a beautiful new moon energy for new intentions in your 5th house of fun. Pisces Risings, this new moon in Gemini is happening in your 4th house. So new energy, new beginning, new fresh starts when it comes to relationships connected to your family and your home life. This is a beautiful energy, because oftentimes family are people that we don't pick, we just have in our life, and those relationships can become challenging or strained. And this new moon is giving you such a pocket of opportunity with Venus involved to bring more beauty and pleasure into your family life, into your home life, but you may have to have tough conversations to get there. So remember, Venus in your 4th house of home is bringing more beauty and pleasure to this area of your life, but you're doing this from a feminine way. Mercury is here, so we're going to have to speak up. We're going to have conversations. So maybe you need to reach out to someone in your family, be curious, be open-minded, understand their perspective, come at them with love, and you may be able to get to the other side of new energy in these relationships. This would be a beautiful time for you to send some cards or lovely letters to people in your life, into your family. Maybe you have not connected with, very distant family members in a while, your cousins, your aunts, your uncles. Beautiful energy for you Pisces risings to set new relationships in motion that maybe have fallen off. And also don't forget that Saturn is squaring this energy, causing you to have tough conversations around your boundaries, your needs, your wants, what you desire when it comes to your home and your family life, as Saturn is in your first house, teaching you lessons in who you are and how you want to show up, how you want to be treated. So sometimes we have to have these tough conversations, but any intentions you want to set around a new home life, people who live with you, a DIY project, making your home more beautiful, this is a beautiful new moon to do that as well. So I'm going to send you so much love and light, Pisces risings. Don't forget that Saturn will be going retrograde at the end of this month, teaching you lessons around you, yourself, your identity, how you show up in the world. His lesson learning periods really come full force during his retrogrades. We don't call him Lord Karma for nothing. So make sure you subscribe, follow along, and come back for that video to truly understand how you should be navigating Saturn's retrograde before the time of this new moon in Gemini. New beginnings, new beautiful intentions with your family and your home life. So I send you so much love and light, Pisces risings. I will catch you in the next video.